I,
Yo, gringos in the house. Straight out of Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, where we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the D. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two worlds meet. East 10th Street boys, bring the party. Bring the noise from Hialeah with some joy.
Drink water like that. Well, I'm telling you, bro. I'm focused, bro. I'm focused, man. Yeah, inside out.
You know who I am by now.
You identify as.
You know, hey. When Alex takes a shower, the dude goes for 3 hours. I mean, it's like, you know he's going to be gone for a while. You have time. Do whatever you're going to do. Go grocery shopping. Go eat dinner.
Night, Latin spice and neon lights.
All right. Good evening, Miami, and welcome to another edition of East 10th Street Boys, a Father's Day edition of East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah. I'm Bobby El Gringo, joined always by my brother, Alex the Boy. Alex, my brother, how are you, my man?
I'm doing great, my man. Happy Father's Day officially. And I just muted myself because you saw we were talking pre-show. No planes, right? The moment we go live, a plane goes every single time. It doesn't fail, dude. Have you seen that, bro? We could be talking for 15 minutes. The show goes live and
all of a sudden, that's it.
God damn
goes
it, man.
live.
But
I'm
good,
happy,
I'm good, man. How was your day?
It was good. Obviously, awesome Father's Day. Got to go out with the fam and have some dinner and enjoy ourselves. We were supposed to go on 30 minutes earlier, but life happens. That's okay. We're enjoying it. We got 92 people coming into the show right now. We appreciate everybody watching right now as, man, we're celebrating Father's Day, but we're also catching up on some Miami Heat. Alex has the whole American History X thing going on there.
Wow. Crazy times, man. Crazy times.
I mean, my goodness. I know it's a
for the record,
time.
I'm Cuban American. No, it's summer. I do these every summer. I just shave it off, let it grow back a little bit. So yeah, it's fresh, man. There's nothing like waking up.
What's up, my man? Damien,
there's nothing like waking up and be like, just brushing the beard.
There you go. There you go. But no, man. Nice hair, Alex. What hair?
Lack of hair.
Chin hair. Yeah. But
do the carpets match the rugs? No, the carpets match the drapes. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. God help us. Anyway, so no, it was a good day, my man. And we have a lot to talk about. First off, shout out to the Florida Panthers, up 3-2, getting the victory on Edmonton in Edmonton. Brett Marchand,
what an acquisition, bro. What an acquisition,
dude.
Man.
What a game. Thank you, Cap. I appreciate you, brother. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there who are tuning in right now. We appreciate you for watching and spending this Father's Day with us. Hope you all had a great Father's Day. Hope you got some, if you got any, hope it was nice. You got to enjoyed your gifts, because the gift of being a dad is enough, I'm sure, for all dads. I can speak for us, right, Alex?
Yep. You can never have too much socks and coffee mugs.
Socks, underwear.
Yeah. Amazing. It's cool.
Alex got a mug. I got a mug.
Yes,
I got some books.
I got my mug,
which is cool. I like reading. I'm cool. But hey, guys, a lot to talk about. Cat for Life throwing it up in there right now. Athletics Sam Amick was saying that Kevin Durant's preferred destination is San Antonio and Houston. Shams says no, Miami is another preferred spot. There is some alternating reports saying that those teams are not really in on it, that Miami is very much in on it. Some people are kind of throwing out there that sticking point might be Khalil Ware. We're going to talk about all of that. I just want to, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to get through all those. We're going to react to everything. I'm going to say it right now before we do get into everything. If Khalil Ware is the sticking point, if I'm running it, I'm not getting KD. I'm not trading Ware. That's it. Not doing it. I've seen people going, oh, but how could we fit Ware and KD and then we could get rid of Ware and we okay. Stop. Short-term rentals don't work. You want to have Ware, especially when KD's gone in 2 seasons, if that actually goes down. So that's just me. Just going to say that right now, get that out of the way before we get into all the stuff. I want to make sure it's perfectly known. Yeah, but another one, Russell Westbrook.
I'll definitely take him as a backup. Yeah,
are the favorites are to land him. Right. He is no longer with who the hell was he playing for, Alex?
He was playing for Denver last
Denver,
year.
The Nuggets.
Yeah,
that's right.
He opted out of his player option.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, John Krasinski, the Athletic reports nothing is close regarding a potential trade between the Suns and the Timberwolves involving Kevin Durant. But
and that's their time.
Pretty close.
That's their time because the any Timberwolves trade would have to be post July 1st because right now they're a second apron team, so they can't aggregate.
And that's
salaries.
The thing. What's crazy to say is the truth is Miami is probably the best team in regards of cap relief for the Suns. They're the team that gives the Suns the best flexibility cap wise, and probably can give them. It's probably the best deal they could get compared to the other teams.
Correct. That's the thing with that is that Duncan Robinson's contract, which will be part of that move, has an ETO, which is an early termination option. So if they finalize a trade with Miami, whatever the packages is, whatever assets are going for, we getting KD, they would essentially acquire Duncan Robinson and they can cut him because his contract is partially guaranteed. So automatically they're saving $9 million off their salary books, but they're getting actually completely almost below the tax, at least maybe even below the first apron with that move. So that's why you see me on X sometimes talk about total value of a trade. Like, for example, the Orlando trade today with Desmond Bane. 4 unprotected first-round picks sound insane. But when you dissect it, one of those picks was really for Memphis to take on KCP's contract. One of those picks was from Phoenix. And realistically, the picks that they're trading are not going to be lottery picks because Orlando should be picking in the late 20s, in the early 20s or late 20s for the next 2 to 3 years because they do have a solid team. So there's some value in there. Now, when you see it off the script, 4 unprotected first picks, you're going crazy. You're like, wow. And automatically people go, oh, it's going to raise KD's value. No, it's the return for KD has nothing to do with Desmond Bane. That's not going to be part of the process. The reason he has preferred destinations is because those are the teams that he will commit to long term, or his agent has been assured that they will grant him a contract extension. Like he mentioned, there could be a team, they're talking about Toronto, the Clippers, that will take the chance on KD as a 1-year rental. Granted, it could happen. I don't see it happening because at the end of the day, even for those rentals, I still believe that Phoenix is trying to do is gain more leverage. They're trying to teams outbid each other. Miami could possibly be in the driver's seat. And yet we can wake up tomorrow and he was traded to the Rockets because out of all the teams that could offer him the best assets are the Rockets. If the Rockets choose to go that route, and I don't think Rafael Stone, the GM, wants to go that route. I think he might want to go the OKC route. Like he's waiting for maybe something more, maybe like a Jaylen Brown, maybe revisiting Giannis. So I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are tentative on that. But it's going to be an interesting few days because you're going to hear reports from the Athletic, from Shams. Tomorrow morning we should have another batch of reports coming out. But just rest assured, there's doing due diligence, and the fact that the trade is not consummated yet is because of that. It's probably the Ware situation. Now, even if they talk about Ware, automatically you're removing any first-round picks you're sending. So there's going to be a balance there. You either take Jaquez or Jovic. You either take Wiggins with that combination, or you take Rozier. If you send Rozier, you're going to send them probably another first-round pick. So those are things that I can live with. You just want to have the idea of what's the framework there, because you don't want to go when you speak about Ware. And I know I made my list of the untouchables or the off limits.
You did on social media, yeah.
And people are like, oh, this guy out here, what is this guy talking about? I'm like, you have to understand, teams are always going to have off-limit players that when a trade is done and the trade could fall apart, that last off-limit player might all of a sudden become part of it, but then you don't trade another first-round pick. So if I just see something in Ware that, and I'm not comparing him, but I know even in 5 Reasons they were talking about it in the comparisons of Wade when we acquired Shaq. At that time, Wade wasn't a superstar. He was a 1-year player. You can see the potential, but with Ware, you see the modern NBA and you see what he can possibly be next to Bam. And I'm a big believer. People are talking about, oh, I don't think KD can play and we can't start work. Absolutely. Bam could defend the third, the threes on the opposing team. Kevin Durant can be your 4, Ware can be your 5. Like there's ways that can work. And I see there's ways that it can stay with us keeping Wiggins. And Wiggins being the starting 2 and Hero starting and Mitchell coming off the bench. There's many possibilities. You have an opportunity. You literally have an opportunity where Kevin Durant wants to come to you. Out of all the times we pursued him, I know we pursued him in 2016, 2019, again last year. This might be the time where we are our closest to get him. So I would not be surprised if the Heat cave in a little bit just to make sure they get him. But they're not going to outbid themselves. Yeah, they're not going to outbid themselves. They're smart.
I will say that it is telling that the report comes out today that the Phoenix Suns are not just going to talk to or be push.
They're not just going to move them to their destinations.
Yeah, preferred destination.
Yeah.
They'll talk to other NBA teams.
Yeah.
To me, that's saying that hey, that they have offers they don't like. Their teams are not budging. So hey, he wants either us or Minnesota or whatever.
Correct.
We're not. And if once they throw that wrench in there, that's probably when Miami or Minnesota
Correct.
or whomever are going to say, okay, all right, we'll go ahead and drop this guy. We'll give you Jovic and we'll give you Jaquez or whatever the hell.
And that one, not just to mention one thing that Damien said, it's true. They do want, that's the holdover where they do want a center. So there's talks about Claxton being on. Now there's some talks about Jaren Jackson Jr. if he doesn't get the extension with Memphis. Also, Memphis is bringing up questions. What are they going to do? Are there more moves coming? Is John Morano going to be on the move? Is Jaren Jackson going to be on the move? So there's a lot. It's going to be a very active, I want to say 2 weeks prior to the draft. This might be the most activity we've seen because right now, remember, we're trading right now, Bobby. It's still under the last year's salary cap. They're not going into next year's salary cap. That's after July 1st. So right now, all these trades that are being done are with the math, with the equation of last year's salary cap. So a lot of teams are going to try to get those moves, which is one thing that could affect the Timberwolves. If Phoenix wants to have a situation under control before the draft, I mean, even the Minnesota trade, it could be done, and Minnesota picks a player that Phoenix wants, and the trade is official post July 1st. That could be done as well. But it seems to be that Phoenix wants to have more of a solidified base of what they're going to do come draft night. So hopefully within the beginning few days of this week, something gets taken care of.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and remind everybody, or just a quick point out here to those who are just tuning in. You're watching East Century Boys straight out of Hialeah here on FTSN. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there who are watching us. We appreciate it. We got over 371 people watching live from all of our channels, from FTSN on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. Man, if you're watching anywhere other than YouTube, come on over, hit that, come on over, join us, join the conversation, hit that subscription button, or follow the channels on social media where you are. So when we do go live, you get to tune into all of our shows. Of course, we got East Century Boys, we got Dolphins content, Heat content, wrestling content. We got it all. So appreciate all those who are tuning in. And please, in the comments, so let us know how you feel about a potential KD trade, which looks like it could be just a couple of days away, if not tonight. It really could go on any moment, which is crazy because the finals
is great.
Going on.
It would be
awesome
right
if it happened right now.
It
would be great if it happened right now.
Yeah. We could take that. We'll
deal with that. Let me ask you, what deal, if it went, what deal when would you say no? Are you like, when would you draw the line on a deal for KD if you're Miami? Because like I said, I'm not putting Khalil Ware in there. I'm just not. I love his upside. I think put some weight on. He could do the three. I mean, shoot from the three. He can block. You know me. I've been high on him since the draft.
Yeah.
And, before the draft.
Yeah.
But that's where I draw the line because there's a huge potential there. I'm saying superstar type of potential that's there. So I do draw the line at him, but where do you draw the line? Like give me your preferred deal that you think could actually do it. But if the Suns came back and said, "Hey, throw this guy in," you're gonna be like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Like my preferred deal, I still have in the framework that it could work realistically is Rozier, Robinson, Jaquez, and 2 first-round picks. That's what I believe. That's a framework that can work. But I understand they're gonna ask for Jovic. I'm
Okay,
I'm aware
so
of
let's
that.
because let's say they want to sweeten
Yeah.
pie because and they say,
Yeah.
okay, that's all good, but give us Jovic.
Okay.
Yes or no?
If it gets the deal done, I'll move Jovic, but I'm removing 1 first-round pick. So if you want Jovic, I'll give you Robinson, I'll give you Rozier, I'll give you Jovic, I'll give you Jaques, but I'm not sending you 2 first-round picks. I'll send you a first-round pick, maybe a first-round pick swap, if that shortens the deal a little bit. Now, if you get to the point of where, that's a hard no for me. But if it comes down to it, if I'm gonna send you where, I am not sending you Jovic, I am not sending you Jaques, and I'm not sending you my pick this year at all. Because now I'm gonna use that pick to replenish the possibility of my backup big or my big. So it's still like it's one of those situations where you gotta read the room, and I understand where you're like, look, I'm not gonna do this.
Russ.
I will entertain it. Um
Sorry, I read Russ's comment.
I just read it now. the gift that keeps on giving, man. But it's definitely something that I will entertain because it will be there. You have to come at a value. Okay. Yeah. Khalil Ware is only a year in. We don't know what he's going to be 3 years
Sure,
down the line.
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
we do see what he can become.
Yeah.
So that is something that you weigh. I'm telling you right now, I feel very similar to the Heat in 2004 when we had Caron Butler, Lamar Odom, Brian Grant, Eddie Jones, Dwayne Wade. We were trading for Shaq. We expedited the process. It's a different scenario because KD's older and
we don't
KD
have a
will
D-Wade.
become, and we don't have a D Wade. But now we do have like 2 established all-stars in Tyler and Bam that Durant will be arguably the perfect fit because one thing that people don't see, I know people talk about KD's age, but in Brooklyn and in Phoenix, KD did not have the supporting structure around them to be successful. Those teams are not defensive identity teams. Brooklyn was a mess at the end. Phoenix, after they acquired Beal, was a complete mess because there's no structure in that team. There's no success for that team. You have offensive firepower, but you don't even have an offensive scheme that can benefit all your offensive firepower. You don't have defense. So he's coming in to a scenario where UD said it best. All he has to do is beat KD. That's all we need him to do.
That's
and
right.
I will for sure.
Well, that's my thing. I was talking to my father-in-law yesterday about it. Kind of say, hey, I did, I don't want to bring it, but I said, hey, did you see the reports? No. So I told him, and he goes, yeah, but KD's not KD anymore. All he could do is shoot the 3. And I said, but really, that's of course I go, but that's all you need. It's still KD. He's a superstar,
and he still
he
works in
more,
mid-range. He doesn't get to the basket as much.
But I said,
he's still
think about
efficient.
it. KD in Miami is better than KD in Phoenix. It's a better support system.
Man.
And that's what I was saying. Like, and let's say if you get Russell Westbrook on a vet minimum deal.
Yes, correct.
To be on that. Think about that.
Correct.
And
you
that's
got
my
Davion
thing.
Mitchell, you got Pelle Larson, you got Keshad Johnson. You have a nucleus there, man.
Absolutely.
And then I still think we're going to be in play for Brook Lopez. I believe Brook Lopez could be our backup big. Legit.
Now,
because
I don't want to get rid of Khalil Ware at all, but Brook Lopez.
No. In that scenario, we have Khalil and then Brook Lopez our backup 5.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Oh man,
it's NBA Finals. I'll say it right now.
Mid-level exception right there.
Let me just say shout out though to Will of 305 Sports Now.
What's up, Will?
Will had a show earlier tonight. Florida Panthers. He asked me to come on, but I was at dinner at the time, so I wanted to. I would have loved to. I thought it was a great idea to come on, and I would have loved to shoot a little about the Florida Panthers. But him and Adrian of the Rainy Day Pod were doing the show. Alex for Florida Cats and Dirty Rats podcast here on FTSN and 305 Sports Now.
Sounds like such a provocative show.
It's awesome.
I like it. It's
an awesome
like
show.
It.
Yours truly came up with
amazing.
It was
amazing.
Awesome.
Dirty Rats.
Florida Cats and Dirty Rats. But anyway, we went from 476 down to 20 now. No,
20.
Yeah. But
some weird ass people over there in the front.
Yeah, but the Will's up in KC and he's out. Going. He's in Kansas City, but he's still doing shows. He's
amazing.
Show, but guys, do me a favor. If everyone who's tuning in right now, do me a favor. There's a few people up in here right now. For all those watching, whether especially Will right now with Heat Talk, Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers. When you have a chance, go jump on 305 Sports Now, hit that subscription button, go check out the Fins Faithful pod. If you're a Dolphins fan, George puts out some awesome stuff. Fins TV with Sammy and the crew. Shout out to them, Miss Fins. The Rainy Day pod. I hate football. They hate football podcasts, all those guys, spread the love, my man. So anywho, as we continue here, the Miami Heat talk on East Century Boys, straight out Hialeah. I said at the beginning of the off season for Miami that I was not going to even entertain the idea that we'd actually land a superstar. That I'm all about the youth. And so, but of course, they cheat you. There you go, Damien. Shout out to TD Fins, of course, as well for some Fins content. Absolutely, but just like the Godfather 3, I try to get out, yet they pull you back in, and again, here we go. All the Heat fans are getting into it. They're all, Katie or bust, Katie or bust. And damn well that if you don't get Katie, Pat Riley's, get rid of him. He's over. Weird to say, but Durant is underrated. Daniel, hey, it's true.
Daniel, I would say he's underappreciated. And I love the fact when he goes on Twitter,
I like that.
and he goes on Twitter and he debunks people right away, which is hilarious. I know we would say KD's on his feelings, but some of his responses are legit. Like random fans will just type something, not thinking that there's no way KD's gonna answer this. And he just goes and answers it literally like a player. It's like, okay, what do you want me to do? You do this, da, 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 da. It's fucking awesome.
Let me just say, Cap-a-Lot. First off, thank you guys for just tuning in. Appreciate you guys joining us here. Hopefully like the show and hit that subscription button. But I'll tell you, man, that's the thing about Miami, right? You're not wrong, Cap-a-Lot, but Wiggins and KD together on the team, Wiggins would be a great compliment to KD and vice versa. There's that little dog again. Let's kick the hell out of that.
That's my Dashy right there.
Yeah. He said, "Oh, you're live? Let me go ahead and start barking."
Let me just go outside and show up.
But no, and that's the thing about Miami is that there are some pieces that the NBA doesn't really pay attention to unless they go somewhere else. That KD comes to Miami and you go, man, that dude play really well with KD. Like I know Robinson's a piece that more than likely is to get moved on just because of his salary. But like Duncan Robinson, first off, is somebody who's underappreciated with Miami. Is for Heat fans, we love him, but I don't think we understand how important he is to what to Miami. And I think if he was to end up staying too, or we figure out a way to keep him and then trade the other guys in that deal, if we were to keep him with Durant, that would be an awesome compliment. I mean, think about that 1-2 punch from the perimeter.
Yeah, but you see that one's just because of his contract. There's no chance in hell.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That he's going to stay with us, And then what you just mentioned, it's a great point. People do not understand what building a roster looks like. They just go for names, and now this NBA Finals alone kind of debunks that. And I'm telling you, the Pacers in the OKC Finals, and it will go 7. The style of basketball that is being played around the league, a lot of teams are using this offseason to reset their books, to reset the way they do business. That's why a lot of teams are tentative, being the Spurs, the Rockets, because they're the younger teams. In this Durant race, we want to call it, they're the young team. And also the wild card team being the Raptors, because the Raptors supposedly they want to move maybe RJ Barrett. So that's another scenario.
This could be
like a 3-team. This could end up being like a 3-team move. So, and I have scenarios where Wiggins stays with us. Now it all comes down to, let's say, if Brooklyn's going to take on, Brooklyn is a team that is willing to take on salaries with draft compensation. So that helps teams that are trying to make these moves. Minnesota and Miami are the teams that need Durant the most. Realistically, the Spurs have a situation where they got De'Aaron Fox, they got Castle, and they're probably drafting Dylan Harper. Eventually, one of those has to go, and my guess is going to be Fox eventually. But they just acquired him; they can't justify just moving him right away unless it's for a decent package. Giannis staying in Milwaukee kind of made Kevin Durant the number one domino now that was supposed to fall. Because even the Desmond Bane trade, that came out of nowhere. That wasn't a big domino. That's not going to have ripple effects unless Memphis is in rebuild mode. Because there's teams in the West right now that they have to face a reality. They have to face a very harsh reality. Are we really in this? Because the West is going to be OKC, the Rockets, it's going to be the Spurs, and don't forget about the Jazz. The Jazz are coming up too. So they have a bunch of young teams now in order, in pecking orders, where some teams are going to be like, wait a second, what do we do now? Do we rebuild? Do we reboot a little bit? Do we take a gap year? In the East is different. That's why a lot of teams in the East now are going to be aggressive. That's why Orlando made that move. People are going to be aggressive because the East is going to be wide open. Only Indiana, really. Boston's going to take a gap year because of injuries. You know, Jaylen Brown is injured. Tatum is injured. So by de facto, they're going to be a lottery team probably. So I'm just intrigued how far Rockets and Spurs are willing to go to put a compelling package, and what do the Suns really want in return? Are they going to get younger pieces, or do they want the salary relief? Because they want to remain competitive. The Suns want to be competitive, so they're probably going to ask for a Wiggins and all that too. So we'll see.
So first off, Damian, I'm not too far from with Alex in regards of the package. You know, I think Duncan Robinson, Wiggins, one of the young guys, whether it's Jovic or Jaquez, even though I love them, I love having them on the team, both of them. You know, I know you might have to give up one and then maybe a couple first rounders and need to get that deal done. That's where I'm at. It's Khalil Ware is where I kind of draw the line, and I think that's where Miami is as well. Let me go ahead and read this very quick. NBA insider Jake Fisher. This is what he said yesterday in regards of Durant to Miami. Let's see. The fans making the Heat feel optimistic. The fans, things are obviously fluid at this stage, but the two teams that most frequently cited as potential landing spots for Durant and entering Saturday's business, league sources say, were Minnesota and Miami. Sources say Miami is in legitimate pursuit of Durant. Again, just as they chased him in February at the trade deadline. The Heat's offer in the end could even prove to be more enticing from the Suns' perspective. Sources say Durant had Miami high on his list in desired destinations when he first requested to be traded from Brooklyn. The Heat also tried to acquire him from Phoenix as part of the Jimmy Butler deal. I'm paraphrasing here and going. The Heat could send various starting level players to Phoenix: Andrew Wiggins, Duncan Robinson. They just brought him up. We just brought him up. And 3 tradable first-round picks, 20 later this month, in addition to first-rounders in 2030 and 32. Minnesota, by comparison, can only offer the 17th pick in this month's draft. Miami's ultimate willingness to surrender Khalil Ware, given the Suns' noted hole at center, could be the true swing factor in a deal for Durant's. Sources say Miami was in February. Miami was unwilling to trade to part with either Jaquez or Khalil Ware. Could that change now after Miami fell so flat in the playoffs with its post-Butler roster? Again, I know fans are quick to throw out, oh, let's get rid of Jaquez, let's get rid of Jovic, let's get rid of this guy, but the Heat obviously see upside there, and I do too. I don't hate having those guys. Daniel asking, well, you wouldn't trade Ware for Durant. If you're trading Wiggins, Robinson, let's say Jaquez already, or Jovic, and then you get 2 first-round picks, and you're saying, no, okay, but we want Khalil Ware as well, I'm drawing the line.
That's a no.
I'm not doing that. Because then what do you have? Oh, well, we got Bam and we got Durant and we got Tyler Hero. Well, what's your rotation look like at that point? What are we doing? And then what's your young core look like at that point?
I'm telling you, if I'm moving,
but don't we notice what Phoenix did? That Phoenix said, okay, we got
correct.
Devin Booker. Let's go get KD. Okay, now we're gonna go get Bradley Beal. That's what the Heat fans want, right? They want what Phoenix did. But how far did Phoenix get? Nowhere. They were one of the worst teams in the NBA. So yeah, I'm saying no. I would no. If you're gonna take one of either Jaquez or Jovic, okay, I'll do it. Yeah. But if you're saying no, we got to add Khalil Ware to that. No, I'm not doing it. Sorry.
And I'm telling you, and I would be, because I understand it's KD. I understand the implications of this and where it could take us. If you're dead set, if I don't get where this deal's not done, I'm like, all right, cool. Let me revisit this. I'm like I told you, I'm removing Jovic from the equation. I'm removing Jaquez from the equation, and I'm removing my first-round picks. You're not getting my pick this year, plain and simple.
Yeah, you mean if they want to add Ware, okay. If we're gonna do Ware, I'm gonna take all those guys out.
I'll do Ware. Okay, I'll give you Jovic. Okay. Not Jovic. Sorry, I'll give you Robinson. I'll give you either Wiggins or Rozier, and I'll give you Ware. but you're not getting any of my first round picks. You're not getting Jovic. You're not getting Jaques. It's either or, because I understand at the end of the day, you're negotiating. Okay. Yes, you have to give up something to get something, but there's a limit. You see the stratosphere we're where. Even after 1 year, you see what he can become next to Bam. So that is something that you're right now in a timeline that you want to acquire this player on your price tag. You know you have to play a little, you have to pay a little more to acquire him, and I'm okay with that. But I'm also seeing the future. I see the future of this build, and I've always been a level-headed guy when it comes to future builds. The same thing when the Sun, like you said, when the Suns made that move, I thought it was first the move that I didn't like was when they even traded Cam Johnson, Michael Bridges for KD, but I understood it because, okay, it's KD. He's still 33, 34. All right, you can make a run. You make the move for Beal, and I'm like, what are you doing? There's no structure in that team. You don't have proper depth for that team. That's not going to be successful. So you go for a name, you forget where the NBA is leading. And right now, what is happening is after KD's going to sign a 2-year extension. Whatever team he's traded for in his preference list, he will sign a 2-year extension once he's traded. Now you got yourself a line for those 2 years, which I believe if we do make the move for KD, part of what we have left in regards to expiring deals, that's why I think they maybe move Wiggins. They'll maybe make a move for a Drew Holiday, a DeMar DeRozan. Like I told you, there's going to be a secondary move. And he asked about the Brook Lopez contract. I would do probably the mid-level exception for Brook Lopez. I think he'll sign that. A 1 year, I think $12 or $13 million deal. I would do that for Brook Lopez as my backup 5. Because if you have now a rotation of Brook Lopez, Ware, Durant, maybe Jovic if he's still there, like you have a nice front court rotation there, man, that is flexible. And Brook Lopez can spread the floor. So there's many scenarios there that could work. It just comes down to, and man, this is the reason that I know the Heat front office gets criticized a lot, but I'm not trading you my last 3 first round picks in Ware, Jovic, and Jaques. I'm not doing it. Plain and simple. I'm not gonna do it. Now for KD right now, if KD's 29, 30, 31, fuck yeah. I'll trade you Ware, I'll trade you Jovic, I'll trade you Jaques, and I'll trade you my future 3 first round picks.
So Capelot asked a great question. So I'll
Yeah.
let Alex answer that one. So if we do sign DeRozan and trade for KD, does that mean Hero will play point guard again? Do you believe, Alex, that would be the case if that was to happen?
De facto, he'll be in that position, but realistically, I do expect Miami to make a switch off that. Obviously, you want to re-sign Mitchell. I believe they'll re-sign Mitchell. I don't know if he's going to start or not, depending on who we acquire, depending on how the roster ends up looking. But there's going to be a lot of more initiation from Bam running the point. If Jovic is still here, I believe one of the things that Miami hasn't done, and because they've been kind of more reserved to it, is playing to Jovic's style of basketball. The way you see right now, the NBA Finals being played, OKC and Indiana, that's Nikola Jovic's style of basketball. He pushes the pace. And when you have a team that has depth and is young, it's very different than last year's team that was Jimmy's team that you slow it down a little bit. This year's team is going to be a little bit more active. They're going to be more of a transition team. They're going to be a faster paced team, even with Kevin Durant, because now you got spacing. So I do believe that there's a scenario where, yeah, Tyler's your de facto point guard, but the number one thing you got to take care of that is defensively. If you keep Wiggins could be your point of attack defender. If you don't keep Wiggins, then maybe Mitchell starts as your point of attack defender. You still got Bam, you got Ware, so you got gaps there on your defense that can overlap and they can cover up your lack of defensive ability in a Hero, maybe in a DeRozan. So those are things that you look into. But I have no problem. This offense doesn't need a de facto point guard. That's the thing. They don't need that one person, because you can have Nico bringing up the ball, you can have Bam bringing up the ball and initiating offense through him. And I do expect to see a more aggressive Bam getting to the basket. His free throw averages going up per game. More mid-range game. His three-pointer is going to continue to evolve. But I do believe there's going to be a change in offensive dynamic this year that people are not expecting. But it's much needed.
So, and Cap asked a great question too, or it brings up a point. Asked me a question earlier. You know, is giving up Ware, is that the sticking point? That's people's perception. That's been reported. I don't think that's fact. I think that's people just guessing, hey, Phoenix needs a center, and this is where they may go, and Miami may say no because of what Miami has said, because teams have asked Miami for Ware during the season, and Miami said, we're not interested in trading Ware. And again, and that's why I am very, very, very hesitant, and I'm going to say it. Look, I'll just give preference for those who are just watching this for the very first time. These three rookies they're not rookies anymore, but Jovic, Jaquez, Khalil Ware. I joke with Alex a lot about this, but I predicted those guys before we took them, Alex. So I have a special affinity for those guys, so I guess I'm biased for it. But I do believe in Ware's upside. I do believe in what he can do. I think this kid is a legitimate superstar for Miami eventually, because of whatever he can do right now and the stage that he's in his career already. That you give him a couple more seasons, and this guy could be a star in this league. So I'm very hesitant about adding him into the deal. I don't know if he is the sticking point. That's just being reported that he's the sticking point, or that he could be the sticking point capital out. So we're not sure. I think it's just a fluid situation. I think Phoenix is talking to multiple teams, and based off what we're seeing and hearing and reading and whatever. Miami is very much in it. Miami wants to see if this could happen, but I don't think Miami's going to overpay to get it done. I don't. They might bend a little bit. They might add something in there. They might do the 3 first-round picks with 2 of the young guys and leave 1 young guy. They may do that, but I don't think they're going to say, okay, let's give up all 3 young guys. Let's throw a couple of these. That's not what they're going to do. And it's been reported too that Miami doesn't see KD as that Shaq type trade that could put Miami over the hump. And that's a question I always ask when these deals are being because people, we all, Heat fans, when I say we all, Heat fans in general, Donovan Mitchell, Bradley Beal, DeMar DeRozan, who the guy from Damian Lillard, whatever. Every time there's a superstar who could potentially be available and their name is connected with Miami, we all go crazy. Oh my God, we got to have this guy. He's going to make the difference. Even though we've gone to multiple finals and we're always in contention and people count us out and we're always back in it, whatever. We always want these guys, and these guys go to these teams. They get traded. Fans are pissed, but they don't do anything. Any of those other teams, they don't win. When has that meant something? So I would say that's what I'm saying. Like, let's take a step back and think about what we're actually giving up. That's my question. I to all those who are watching, and it's fair. I mean, you could, if you think that's the case, say it. There's no gatekeeping here. You could believe that KD can move the needle, but that's my question for you guys out there. Do you believe that Kevin Durant, let's say if you move Khalil Ware and you keep Tyler, you keep Bam, you have Durant,
correct,
with whatever the roster's left, do you think Durant actually does move the needle for the Miami Heat? That's the question, because there's a report out there that Miami doesn't think they're going to be interested. They're in this deal. They're trying to get it done, but they don't feel like this is they want to probably do something else to this deal because they don't believe that, this is a Shaq. Because Shaq, when he was brought into Miami, even though he was towards the end of his prime, he was still better than what, in what he was. He still pushed Miami over. So is Durant that guy? Do you Heat fans who are watching right now, do you believe that Durant could move the needle for Miami? And Alex, I'm asking people now to put it in the comments, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what they have to say. But for you,
yes.
Tell if let's do a pretend deal, right? What's the deal that's done? And with the roster as it is, do you think Durant could actually move the needle for Miami in the East to get to the final, and not just get to the finals because we've been there with Butler, but to win it? Well, you're basically at that point exchanging Durant for Butler, But go ahead.
I would absolutely say that Durant can still move the needle. Obviously, like I said, I do take the aging of Durant gracefully as a basketball player. The metrics show he doesn't get to the basket as efficient as he did before, but he is still an efficient scorer. He's still an efficient threat from the 3, and he's still an efficient basketball player. He's a great free throw shooter. He's a great 3-point shooter. He's a great mid-range shooter. He's your go-to scorer. And what did we need last year? We needed wing scoring. We had where Tyler was our only wing scorer. That's it. It was either Tyler or Bam down low. Obviously, with the development, that's why the roster construction is so important, because Durant can definitely move the needle. That's why I don't think Miami will be heartbroken if Durant is not acquired, if Durant is traded somewhere else. I do believe there's still a plan in place.
Yeah,
Miami
I agree
always
with you.
has plan A, plan B, plan C to improve. Obviously, they'll still prioritize. There's many scenarios where Miami could be a player in free agency next year. But now, if you get into the Kevin Durant and you sign him to an extension, now automatically you're locking yourself in for 3 years. So now your next
Good
free
point.
agency period is 2029. But you did align yourself with Wiggins, you align yourself with Bam, you align yourself with Hero. So Miami's in a weird situation because you are in the tweens between developing and being sort of like a super mega rebuilding team because you have some mature youth or veteran youth, like I like to call Bam, because Bam's already in his 8th year, if I'm not mistaken, 8th or 9th year, which is insane, because he's going to be 27. Now, does KD adding KD to this roster pushes them over the top, but not completely? You still need to add pieces, of course. You still need to develop your full youth. You got I think a rotational player in Pelle Larson, Davion Mitchell. You have, like I said, a lot of people do not understand this. The same way I saw Highsmith a few years ago. Keshad Johnson will be a rotational piece this year. He will be a Caleb Martin, Highsmith type of role. He will have that. Kevin Love is still going to be off your bench, your veteran presence in the locker room. They mentioned the possibility of Russell Westbrook. You acquire KD, all of a sudden a lot of options become available. I know there's talks about, for example, even Tyus Jones as a point guard, Malcolm Brogdon. Those people are looking, for example, a situation like Milwaukee. Damian Lillard's going to be out for half the year. A lot of these players might sign for a 1-year prove-it deal to get a bigger contract. And the Tyler Hero extension, it could happen. One thing I will say about this, and I want you to think about this, and I want our listeners to think about this. The same way I talked about Duncan Robinson's contract when he signed it, 5 years, $90 million. Do you remember that? People were going ape shit. Oh my God, it's not worth it. What was our conversation? What did I keep telling you? The salary cap is going up. That contract is going to look very favorable as it gets older. We're in the same situation right now. Even Bam's extension, which will kick in, even if Tyler Hero signs an extension, which I think he will, probably in the 40 million range around there, a little bit higher. It might not be the full 50 per. Bam's contract in 3 years is still going to be a manageable contract because the max salary at that time is going to be in the 70s. So now your max player is making 50 million. If KD signs, he's making 60 million. So you still got manageable pieces there. That's one thing that people, bro, they're talking about the mid-level exception. The mid-level exception in 10 years will probably be $31 million. A mid-level exception team. Like, that's insane. These salary cap will continue to skyrocket. So some of these extensions, it's better to do it early because now you still got more salary cap available when you have your exceptions. You're not a second apron team. So there's a lot of options if KD gets traded for, all depending on what we give up. And I believe that's the negotiation there.
All fair points. Let me just read some of these comments here. Appreciate everybody throwing some comments in there. First off, Leo P, thank you for watching, my man. Love the profile pic, Cam Newton. Not Cam, sorry, Cam Ward. But evening, we trade for KD. Miami Heat still find good undrafted players and develop them to contribute. Great point. It's true. If anybody could do it, it's the Heat. Samsky, thank you for watching, my man. Let's see what he says. KD can absolutely move the needle for the Heat. We have one of the best coaches in the NBA. We have Pat Riley, one of the best GMs in the NBA. Any star we get, great points, my man. I think KD can move the needle. This cap a lot for Miami, especially if we had players around him like Westbrook, etc. And even if we had a downfall season, numbers are still high at his age, which is crazy.
Correct. Yes.
Bobby, you asked the question saying KD and others don't win. Well, it's the coaching that will add the missing piece. Those stars need to win. All we need is one star, and we will be back in the finals, just like we did with Jimmy, and he ain't as good as KD. There you go. And and that's fair because I'm with you guys. I think Spo is somebody who could help push somebody to move that needle. I don't think Spo gets a lot of credit. There are some Heat fans that are like they would want to move on from Spo. I think that's crazy. I will say the coaching part, and again, it just goes back to that point. Not saying you're wrong at all. I get your point, and I think it's all fair. And Samsky, appreciate you watching, man. But coaching, right? How many of these coaches, you think of Doc Rivers and Boldenholzer and I'm thinking of the guy in Phoenix. There's a few of them that people are like, oh, these guys are amazing coaches. These are the best coaches in the NBA, and they get fired or they don't win. And so
That
I think Spo is one of the best coaches. He is the best coach in the NBA. I think so. When
Correct.
think about what he's done with as little as he's had, what he's done for undrafted free agents, which goes to the earlier point with undrafted free agents. So great point. But I will say that again, those guys went to those organizations with so-called great coaches, and they still didn't win. But I think it's absolutely fair. And yeah, Steve Kerr was the only good coach. Fair.
And to say that in 2016, people forget about this. We finished second to the Warriors in the KD sweepstakes. KD took a meeting with Miami, and Spoelstra presented to him how he could unlock him efficiently. And basically, that's what they did with him in Golden State. He took that concept, and that's what Golden State did. If you notice, KD even alone in Brooklyn, with Phoenix, when he's played, the team has been above 500 consistently. When he's played, when he's the main de facto number one option. Now, what you're getting with him in Miami is efficiency. We're going to put him in position where now he has Hero, which is kind of like having Booker over there in Phoenix. But now he has Bam also, which he did not have anything like that in Phoenix. So you have an ecosystem.
That's the key factor.
Correct.
Right there. That's the difference. There you go.
They will allow him to be him. He will play basketball.
He's had Devin Booker,
Correct.
But he hasn't had the stability. People could say
they
could talk all the shit they want about Heat culture and the Heat organization, whatever. He has stability. You know who the bosses are. You know who the coaches is. It's all familiar, and you're bringing that in. And so, okay, Skeet, man, Sam Skeet, appreciate you, my man.
Yeah,
great points. I think we aren't talking about how Miami can make Durant. That's another great point, Kevin. What he can do for Kevin Durant.
That's what I just said right now. The efficiency. Yeah, you're going to put him in position where you can be the best version of yourself, because the parts of your games that have aged a little bit, we'll cover that. So we need you to be Kevin Durant, and we'll take care of the rest. It's a structure. It's a scheme that you're put in, and how you manage a player as they age will grant. And this is a new age. People right now think about 37-year-old KD, and yes, granted, he had the Achilles injury. He missed basically a year and a half, so he's really not 37 years old in basketball years. He's maybe 34, 35. But the wear and tear, sometimes you kind of see it. But what makes up for that, and granted, this is not even with Heat culture or anything, is his culture, his work ethic. You've never had an issue with KD missing time because he didn't want to play. KD is the definition of a hooper. He wants to go, he wants to play basketball, and he wants to win. And relationships are important. He has an organization in Miami that will have structure, that will have what you want towards the end of your career is that you want stability and you want structure. You don't want all of a sudden finding out your name's in trade rumors mid-season and your front office didn't contact you, which Phoenix brought this up upon themselves. Phoenix caused this by not speaking to him clearly. So it's an exciting time, because when you feel you're out of it, like you mentioned before, Bobby, they pull you right back in. And we always knew this possibility was happening. Even Pat Riley's presser. If it's the right player with the right contract time, we'll think about it. And you kind of knew what he was, wink, wink at it. So you knew it was coming. So let's just see. Let's just see if we're that close, because they say supposedly we're 2nd and 3 from the 6-yard line. So let's see.
Let me ask this. Mike, the Hebrew Hammer Brown, man, what's up, brother? Great to see him in here, tuning in, throwing some comments in there. Oh, almost to episode 200 with Beer Sports with his pops. So great to see him in here. It's gonna be real hard for KD when he's coming to Houston. Oh, look at that!
Let's see what Houston's willing to give up. Look, is Houston willing to give up all the picks back?
Let's ask Michael. Let's ask Mike. What would he be comfortable giving up for the Houston Rockets? Because they're a young squad. They got some up and coming players. What would be fair enough for him to say, hey, you know what? Does KD move the needle for Houston? What would he say no to in a deal? And what deal would be the best for him?
I'm gonna give you his trade, Bobby. He's gonna trade Jalen Green. He's gonna trade Jabari Smith. He's gonna trade all the picks back.
There it is.
Look, there you go.
Jalen Green, Lendell Brooks, and a 1st-round pick.
Oh, Dylan Brooks. Okay.
Dylan Brooks. Yeah.
Lendell. Okay. They're gonna ask for Jabari Smith too. Michael, what's your hard no?
Is it adding? I'm
Oh,
not giving.
go.
There you
Thank
go. You see?
Same
All
way.
right. Yeah. When you said
There you
Jabari
go.
Smith, I was
There
like,
you
there's
go.
no
Yeah.
way I would do that.
Yeah.
You're
The
not
pro-
getting Jabari because
Now,
this is my thing. Here's my thing.
they'll,
At
they'll
that
give him
point,
Cam
what's your
Whitmore.
roster?
You'll give up Cam Whitmore, right, Mike? I want Cam Whitmore. You'll give up Matt. You'll give up Cam too. Oh no, of course. Thompson is a no for sure.
There you go.
That's not even a question. If you call me and ask for Amen Thompson, I'm just hanging up.
You see?
No,
Okay.
Segun, no.
But you see, okay, so
Yeah,
if you
Cam.
give up
You see,
now
he'll
the
give up
deal,
Cam
wait,
Whitmore.
the
Yeah.
deal that he brought up here, right? And for
Yeah.
Houston, if
Yeah.
it's Jalen Green, Lindell, Brooks, and a 4th round pick, that roster with KD that's a good roster. That's not a bad roster.
And I'm telling, if Houston really wants KD, okay, Houston has so many picks coming up, and they have so many players that they don't even play. Because Phoenix is gonna ask for Reed Shepard. Mike, would you give up Reed Shepard?
I see you, Breezy.
I wouldn't give up Reed Shepard. The thing is, Houston can give up Jalen Green, Jabari, and all, and they're still set, man. So on paper, the best trade partner that Phoenix could have is Houston. If Houston wants KD, Houston can have KD right now because they have the best package to offer.
Breezy says, for the Heat, KD and whatever comes afterwards makes the Heat an instant contender.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Nobody can change his mind. Oh, there you go.
Oh, Reed can go. Okay. Hey, they might ask for Reed too.
But no,
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I think, I've heard Minnesota and the Heat are the 1 and 2 teams. I think I read that Houston might not be interested or not as interested as being reported, but Mike would know better than anybody because that's his team, that's his squad.
Mike can confirm. I think Udoka wants him. Raphael Stone is the one holding it back a little bit.
Stone is
maybe he can. Stone is the GM. Yeah, Raphael Stone and Udoka really wants Durant.
But what coach wouldn't want Durant? Unless you can't handle that personality. Coach Spo can. Spo's dealt with all of them. He's dealt with every type of personality. Yeah. Butler, Haslam, Wade, Bosh, LeBron. I mean, he's done it all. He could handle a Westbrook and a Durant.
Oh yeah, for example, when has Durant ever given issues to his coach? Never. Even with the Nets situation, he handled that with class. When he asked for a trade out, he handled it very class. That's why, bro, Durant is a dream of a basketball player, in my opinion.
Breezy, great question. We've answered that earlier, but we'll answer it again. I'll answer it. Alice could take it up, but he's asking, are we cool if we lose Ware and if that's what it takes to get KD? What's the deal, Breezy? What's your deal? Because if you already have, let's say, Jovic or Hawkes in that deal, Duncan, Wiggins, a 1st round pick or 2 first, he could give up 3 1st round picks. He could give up 3 1st rounders. So if you're saying, let's say it's 2 1st rounders because you got to sweeten the pot, Jovic and or Hawkes, and then Wiggins, Robinson, right? Let's say if that's the deal, and Ware's what it takes to get it done, then no, I'm not doing it. Ware is like, that's the guy. I have too much. That dude, I think 2 years from now, we're talking a star in this league. He's just I believe in that kid. I'm not giving him up. That's me. But what's a good follow-up move if we land KD? What could Rozier and Hawkes in a 1st get us?
Rozier Hawkes in the 1st?
That's the question.
DeRozan?
Michael's on the same page with me, and that's the point. The Phoenix Suns did that. Do not deplete the roster.
No, at all.
Right?
At all,
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why, like, for
all.
me, there's a hard no at that point. I'm willing to move on from it.
Correct.
I'm not going to go crazy and give up a bunch of guys and picks for, because we say we've had KD. I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm not doing
it. It has to be the right
There has to be follow-up moves. Kevin's point.
Oh, absolutely.
There would have to be follow-up moves.
Look, honestly, there's a possibility. There's the possibility that a DeRozan situation comes up. I don't think that realistically.
No, Breezy, no problem, brother. It's all good. We appreciate you watching. You ask away, my man. All good. Appreciate you asking and tuning in, brother. What did he say?
You see that right there? Yeah, no, right there, Breezy. That right there is a good deal setup.
I'm thinking it's Wiggs,
Duncan, Jovic, or Hyman, 20th pick. Yes, that's right.
Love
now
it.
what we're looking at.
Love it,
that's
Breezy.
Perfect.
All good, now, man. I'm with you on that one.
If you want Ware, right? If you want Ware, honestly, I'll remove Jovic and the 20th pick. I might even do it with Hyman, maybe, but I'm not even. No, you know what? No. You want Ware? You get that's it. It's Wiggs, Dunk, and Ware or Rozier. There, I would switch to Rozier. You want Ware? I'll give you Rozier because Wiggins is more valuable to me, even as a secondary move. Now, what I'm intrigued by this is the Brooklyn situation because Brooklyn could get into this with the possibility of getting some picks. Okay, so we might not trade our picks to Phoenix, but we might trade a pick to Brooklyn if they're willing to give up Claxton to Phoenix, some sort of. I was thinking about the other player. Look, one of the follow-up moves, believe it or not, I think Rozier and all that. I want to get into the Vucevic game with Chicago. Chicago wants to move Vucevic. I would be intrigued if he's attainable, maybe for, like you said, a Rozier and a first-round pick and Jaquez. I would get Vucevic because I think that if I can't get Brook Lopez, I rather acquire Vucevic. He's on an expiring deal as well, and he loves the Miami Heat organization, and I think that's a quality piece. So that's an option there, realistically, even if we don't acquire.
Yeah, and Mark Stein, the Stein line,
Drew Holiday as well. Yes,
the Miami Heat are in legitimate pursuit of Kevin Durant. The Heat's offer could prove to be more enticing from the Suns' perspectives.
Correct. Mike, we don't need him to play defense. We just need him to rebound.
Yeah,
rebound and shoots. I'll spread the floor. And Vucevic is a good pick.
Ready for a satellite spot from Houston to give breaking news on that situation. There you go. There you go, brother. You always have a home here, Mike. You know that, bro. You know that, my man. Let me just say, shout out to everybody watching right now. We got a total close to 700 people watching live from between social media and YouTube and Twitch and whatever. So thank you all for everybody tuning in. You're watching East Central Boys Straight Out Hialeah here on FTSN. If you're anywhere other than YouTube, do me a favor, Breezy and company, those who are watching anywhere other than YouTube, hop on over to YouTube, hit that FTSN, come over here to Finstock Sports Network, hit that like and subscribe button. We appreciate everybody who's watching right now. Got a monster crowd tuning in.
Breezy.
We appreciate it. We're talking KD to Miami.
Bobby, you see that? If we do trade Ware, that's one option. You saw Breezy's lineup? That is one of the options.
Let's see. David Mitchell, Hero, KD, Bam. Okay.
That is one option if you move Ware. But you're keeping Jovic.
But here, Breezy brings up, again, we brought this up. And I said it. Duncan Robinson. And
it's good.
One of our family members here at FTSN, our girl Doll. She would be hurt. She'd be livid. Man. But Duncan Robinson will hurt more than people think. Losing Duncan Robinson. I know we're all talking about the guys, and I get it.
Yeah.
But Duncan Robinson, I don't think people give them enough credit. Go to the link in Twitter bio and subscribe. There you go. The wife is on Twitter, giving some of those who are tuning in through Twitter the link to come over to YouTube and hit that subscription button. We appreciate everyone watching, wherever you're watching right now. And if you're watching on Twitter, give us a follow on Twitter. KD will be a Spur by tomorrow. Gosh, hey,
they got to up their offer. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, KD is a Rocket. If Houston wants KD, they will have KD. Like legit.
You're just playing up the mic. Stop. Dude.
I'm being honest, man. They have the best package available for KD. Legit. And they own the 3 picks from Phoenix. So they can just give those picks back to Phoenix if they want, or maybe 1 or 2. So I'm telling you, if Houston wants KD, KD is Houston's to lose, plain and simple. If KD doesn't go to Houston, it's because Houston didn't want him. That's for sure.
Well, that based off the Suns. If they want KD, the Rockets will have KD. There you go. If they want KD, the Rockets. See, that's
that's what I'm telling you.
And if the Suns and the Suns are legitimate, saying we don't care about preferred destinations, we'll trade you to wherever.
I mean, that will be one of his preferred destinations. So they will be like, okay, cool.
Stone is terrified of giving up any real assets.
Yeah,
there you go.
Stone doesn't want to look like an ass because he's battling right now. He wants to be like Sam Presti. So you don't want to move the assets and it fucks up your team or your chemistry. And you're like, shit, I should have just waited it out.
Oh, he's froze. There's that Hialeah internet. We lost him.
I'm good.
No, you're frozen.
Can you hear me?
You look like oh, there you go.
There you go. Perfect. Now, Mike, one question I want to ask you. Is the Van Vliet, are you okay with the Van Vliet extension, or you rather just go down the line and get another point guard? Now we wait.
What's up, Josh? Josh Wingate in the house. Where is she? Who's she? Who are we talking about?
Who are we looking for? Who are we looking for?
Who are you looking for?
Okay. All right. I figured. With the right price, I figured he would stay.
Let's see. Source within
That's
for
good.
being linked for thoughts on the picture of Durant's agent Butler going on right now. Do you think Butler threw dirt on Miami? If Durant did ask him, no. And
Durant doesn't
honestly,
care
I don't
about
think
that.
Durant gives a crap about Butler's
Nah,
situation. Not that he doesn't like Butler, just no.
no.
Durant is here,
Yeah,
Butler's there,
no.
and he's not. He has his own. He could.
Different relationships, different wavelengths.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'm not worried.
and
But great question. Great question.
the Adams contract is great. That's why I said I would be willing to sign Brook Lopez to the mid-level exception, because that Adams backup money, that's perfect.
I've been a
Perfect.
Brook Lopez guy for a while. I think Brook Lopez would do crazy stuff in Miami. How about those Orlando Magic? How do you feel about that, Josh? You know the Magic
Josh,
getting
you're
Desmond,
going for it.
Desmond
You're going
Bane,
for it,
man.
Josh.
You know, for
Yeah.
you know, I understand. I guess it's because it's the cap situation or whatever. But
Correct.
4 first-round picks, I think it was.
Yeah. Well, but like,
Of course he does, Kevin. Of course he does hate it. Especially what the Celtics might have to do. You know, Celtics are gonna have to tear some shit down. You know,
but you know what, Bobby? The Celtics have a cap year, right? Let's say they go into the lottery, they win the first pick, they get Cam Boozer, they get AJ, they get
the
a
Mavericks.
Reward.
Yeah. Mike, now the Magic come in 5th in the East. Yay! Yeah.
Hey, the Magic have some scary depth though with Tristan Da Silva, Black.
Yeah.
They have a nice little. They're gonna be a second apron team though in a few years, because all those 4 guys are gonna be making 50 million plus or 40 million plus. Yes, true. Exactly. That's the same thing I told you. Late first, and remember they took on KCP's contract. So, and anybody had to give up a first round pick to get rid of that contract. Multiple first round picks to get rid of that contract.
Also, though, shout out again. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day to Josh Wingate, co-host of the On the Clock Draft show here on FTSN, and you know, head of Diamond State scouting here on FTSN. Awesome dude, does awesome work. Happy to have him with the channel, and we'll connect soon, especially with the website. Working on a website here for FTSN, so I'm excited about doing that. Can't believe Bane went for 4 first-round picks. What's crazy is, again, it's all about the situation, right? Because people are like, oh, wait, well, Luka didn't get that. And Luka was – it's just the way it is. It's, you know, some guys do, some guys don't.
No, and the situation, Bob, like you said. Bane is signed for 4 years.
Yep.
They took on KCP's contract. It's a position of need for them. They needed shooting.
John Moran for I do the deal now. Get it done.
Mike, you say that Memphis is the talk of the league right now. What are they going to do? Because that could alter a lot of scenarios.
Would you try to get JJJ from Memphis instead of Durant? Jaren Jackson Jr. So okay. So I think it would be less to go after Durant than it would be JJJ.
Oh yeah, he's going to cost you a lot.
And don't. I'm not saying that. So I would rather go for Durant.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jaren Jackson moves the needle for Miami.
No.
I do like Jaren Jackson. I would not hate him in Miami. I just don't think he moves the needle as much as a Durant would. That's where I stand on that. Could we really see a Russ KD reunion in Miami? It's wild. It makes a lot of sense. And yes, I do think that could go down. And I think it would be the best situation for both of them in that, because you go, you know, it's happened other places and it didn't work out. But why would it work in Miami? And it was brought up earlier, and I'm horrible with names, guys. My brain is fried, so forgive me, but I'm gonna try to find that name very fast because I want to give him the credit. And I'll find it somewhere. Sam Skeet said it. Why that would work? Heat culture. I know people are sick of hearing it. If you're not with Miami Heat, you're not a Heat fan, you get sick of hearing it. But the fact of the matter is that Heat culture, and with Pat and Coach Spo and company, what's instilled in this organization, yes, I think a Russ and Durant in Miami with the crew that's currently here would work. Durant should want Miami most due to the road being easiest, but he wants to play with Vic and Castle. I think he can be the missing piece to a title run. Great point. Jaren Jackson is redundant to Bam, to be honest. Miami needs to score more. Bleezy. Great points, man. Everybody, you know, and hey, let me just say this to everyone who's watching. There's no real, I mean, I guess there could be, but no, not really. There's no real wrong answer. Everybody has a right to their opinion and what they believe. Should Durant come to Miami? Should they not? Or to Houston, whatever, who has the easiest thing, you know, Jaren Jackson, whatever. You know, everyone's opinion matters. We appreciate everyone who's watching right now. It's really cool to have you guys here with us and interacting and joining this conversation. And it's just, I would love to have some breaking news going on right now. It could happen any moment. And Mike could be right on the money. It could be San Antonio. It could be. Toronto is a wild card. I know Toronto's floating back there somewhere. There always seem to be a wild card, but not everyone could be the Magic right now. All right, there.
Oh, one name to when they brought up secondary moves that I forgot to mention from the Jazz, Colin Sexton. I think that is an option for us from Miami. I would still keep tabs on Lauri Markkanen, see where that is ending up, because he wants to be there long term, but there's talks about Kessler going to the Lakers, that they're talking about a trade there involving a first round pick and maybe Dalton Connect going to Jazz. So I would monitor the Jazz situation just to see how it ends up. But definitely I think Colin Sexton could be an option. Nas Reed, he could possibly be a Laker, correct?
No, it's a foregone conclusion.
According to Mike.
So very quick, we're at the hour here, and it's a great conversation. But I wanted to talk about something we watched recently. We were talking about before the show, and I don't know if anybody got to see it. Who would you rather have, Alex, Sexton or Westbrook?
Oh shit, man.
I don't want to miss that. Hey, have your we'll go into other conversations too before we wrap it up. But continue
right now
your questions in there, guys. We'll get to them.
I would rather have Sexton, even though Westbrook can give you that veteran leadership and he's still a mile a minute. I would rather have Sexton because I think he'd be more of a threat for us.
Yeah, but it would cost something if you're not gonna get. I think it'd be Westbrook is a lot easier deal to get done.
Oh yeah, Westbrook's a lot cheaper deal. With Sexton, where you're trading you're creating, but you're getting into the Rozier expiring deal for expiring deal. So it's nothing crazy. So, yeah, Indiana ain't letting him go.
Sorry, I throated my mic. Your face when I said that. But anyway, yeah. Neither go get TJ McConnell better value. Interesting when they lose to OKC. What do you think this? You say 7 games. You think it's tied right now, 2-2. The finals it continues tomorrow.
Correct.
How do you see this playing out? Do you think Indiana? I think Indiana takes it. I mean, I'm not saying that. I just think it's. I think it could go either way. I'm not sleeping on OKC at all, but I think the heart is, it sucks what happened. That last minute of that game was ridiculous. It was
horrible offensive.
Oh my God, they missed the free throws.
Horrible.
They couldn't get a shot. I'm like, what are you guys doing, bro?
It just became hero ball.
It was ridiculous.
I say it goes 7, and I think OKC pulls it off at home.
Yeah, that's what I see what Breezy's saying. I think Indiana has that magic. I see it with Indiana. I feel it with them. I'm like, dude, there's something about that team. And even though like they're in the East and it's kind of like, Indiana, but it's cool. No, they never won it before. So it's like something really to see. On another, you guys think yes, I do.
Yes. Game 6.
I mean, the
Panthers
will win. Bro. They're not going back to Edmonton.
Bro, this should have been a sweep, man. It's infuriating. When I saw it again, we're up 3-0, and I'm like, bro, we're such a better team than Edmonton face to face, and there was no way that we should have been celebrating game
Edmonton
4 here.
Edmonton annoys the hell out of me, dude. I mean, they're a bunch of babies, dude. I mean, they do some state.
They lost control, man. We got in their heads. So
one game,
yeah.
But no, I think the Panthers will. I think they will end the series on Tuesday. I hate it's on Tuesday. I wish it was tomorrow. I hate waiting a couple days, but yeah, I'm with you. But can you imagine Panthers winning the cup and then Katie getting traded to the Heat?
Same way.
That would be goodness. We'd be right back here. Hopefully it happens on our show on Thursday night.
I expect to hear some news for KD tomorrow. I really do. I don't know why.
Mike says, man, Spurs. That's what he thinks. Netflix. We were talking about this earlier.
Yes.
We were talking about what's up, Anthony Manzano in the house. He says he's staying away from KD. He doesn't want to be trading our young talent for a guy who is past his prime. I don't care what. He's a great scorer. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But Alex, do you hey, Finn Stanza.
Look who is this?
Look who decided to show up out of the blue. like the
Oh,
Undertaker. The
Go Panthers.
there you go. Oh, Katie gets traded tomorrow. Pounds the drum for the Panthers on Tuesday. There you go. Breezy, from your lips to God's ears, brother. There you go. Netflix, Alex, the Titan documentary. Did you get to watch that, man?
Yes, I saw the Netflix one.
Dude, I saw both. I saw the HBO version of it, and then I saw the Netflix version of it.
Was it similar, Bob? Was one more dissecting of the facts, or what was the difference between
the
both?
HBO? Well, there were some different people on the HBO one. The HBO one went from the investigator's perspective.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you saw when the wife they were videotaping the wife and somebody from the staff who were, communicating with the Titan, and then you hear the pop, and she goes, "What's that bang?" And then she got to communicate. So you got to see as they first heard that.
Wow.
I think both were great. One thing I'll tell you that that was very with the Netflix one. I felt that I liked was that it gave the staff's perspective.
Yes,
You did get some staff members from that the other one, with people that gave that perspective. But I think Netflix was better in regards of you got the investigative side from HBO, and then you got which showed some clips in the Netflix one. You saw the investigation and people giving the commentary, but it was the Netflix one. You got to see and you got to hear the actual HR meeting when they fired the lead pilot, who was not saying, they say, "Oh, go ahead, do a report." He asked them to do a report on the Titan, and he was honest. He said, "Hey, man, I just don't feel safe." And he was pissed. He hated it. He's like, "So what are you trying to get out of this? What do you mean what I'm trying to get out of this?"
Yeah, safety.
I'm trying to save your life, bro. And he said that, you're gonna die on this thing.
Yeah.
Dude, it's great. Kevin says it's crazy how they proceeded with the test.
It is.
It's true. And
that's full neglect. You know how many people's life they put in danger?
He was a psychopath. Respectful. I mean, not respectfully.
Yeah,
whatever. I guess, we're gonna say respectfully.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, respectfully.
And he's a murderer. Let's be real. He murdered those people, man. It just sucks. Yes. Because those people had no idea what the situation was. What was crazy for me was they had these little microphones in the Titan. So when they were doing these tests, you would hear the
cracking noise. Yeah.
Every little, just like that, loud as hell. And there was a time when after he fired the lead pilot, he went down below to do the test on it in the Bahamas. And they're recording him, and he's going, and you hear and he's going, "What the? Oh my God."
Yeah.
And he wasn't pissed because the Titan was failing the test.
Yeah.
He was pissed because there were so many microphones that you heard every little pop. And he kept saying, "Well, it's normal for a sub to pop." Yeah. No, I'm not a sub expert at all. Yeah. And I know damn well that's not normal. Yeah. And I love it. And then in the doc, it shows in both documentaries when he goes, "Well, these two guys would first tell you, the expert of the Titanic who died on the sub as well." But he goes, "These guys will tell you it's pretty normal to hear a big bang." Yeah. No, it's not. No. And then find out that they left that sub in sub-degree weather, freezing.
It's neglect. It's neglect across the board, man. And unfortunately, when you have, that's why I'm always very careful with things that are privately handled, that don't have to go by certain regulations and all that. You do not know. Like, for example, obviously it's a different comparison whatsoever, but with the local fairs, when the fair goes up, that's man-made, that is assembled on the spot. Anything that could possibly put your life in danger, you have to be aware of what is being done and who is doing it. You can't just trust people randomly. You get me? Like, even when you get on a plane, you're trusting that people are doing their job. You're trusting that the pilot is doing his job. You're trusting that the crewsmen are doing their job, that the mechanics are doing their jobs, but you really don't have control of that. You have control, for example, of your car. You're the one that does maybe the oil changes. You're the one that takes it to your mechanic. So you got more hands-on. But when you have other people's lives on your hands and a whole company on your hands, you got to remove that level of superiority and grandeur and like, "Oh, I'm invincible. Nothing's going to happen to me." Or like you said, even thinking, "Well, this is my legacy. Like, I'm going to go down with it. I'm going to go down with the ship." But it's still insane to me. Like, I can't even fathom thinking that way, because if I'm doing it by myself, that's okay. But if I'm bringing other people along, like, dude, there's a level of me, like, it's just humanity. It's having compassion for another person. Like, you're just putting people in danger. Even the news reporter, that's what drove me insane.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, he didn't even tell the
DTA,
user.
damn right, DSG. Don't trust anybody. I'm with you on that.
It's true,
We're
man.
with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It's true. It's
But
true.
no, well, see, that was the HBO documentary was the guy from Destination X, Destination. He has a bunch of shows, Destination
Okay.
Discovery.
Okay.
But he as well went on the sub and he heard the poppy noises and they had to come back up because it was just and he just said, I'm not going back in that thing. And he ended up canceling the episode. He messaged his boss. He said, I'm sorry. I know this costs a lot of money to fly out here.
Yeah.
But I'm not comfortable going in this thing. And they didn't do it. And like, it's like how many people, that were so close.
Well, the influencer, the YouTuber.
Yeah, that one too. He was there.
That was insane, man.
Yeah.
That is legit your life flashing before your eyes. And it's just when you're in a submergible like that, you are in an enclosed space and you're so deep, bro.
I couldn't do that thing. I couldn't do that thing. Trust me, I'm a Titanic nerd. I will straight up admit I'm a history buff guy.
But you wouldn't go down there to see it yourself.
Right. Don't get me wrong. Like I can imagine that experience to be able to go down to see the shipwreck. Like, and to me, it's eerie as hell just looking at pictures and video of it. Like you're coming through the darkness and all of a sudden here it comes and you that's creepy as shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
But but at the same time, like I get the idea of wanting to be able to experience and see that.
Yeah.
However, first off, I wouldn't be able to do it because my hip, that shit will hurt sitting in that little sub for how many hours, Alex? The way the Indian style, my leg would be numb, my hips would kill me. Can't do it. Now, if you got like an all-seater, like, you can sit down and
just hang out.
Okay. Yeah, like a little plane, like, there it is. Because they've done it. James Cameron has done it multiple times. He's gone down to Titanic. He's a fan, one of the best directors out there. However, he's a Titanic guy too, and he goes on the subs. I get it, but at the same time, like, no, dude. And I wouldn't be allowed. All jokes aside, wife would not allow me.
Oh, for sure.
Like that.
For sure.
Like it would be no. And especially if it's like that. Like I think anybody could see that's what's sad, dude. The Titanic is
It's just a matter of time. And you can't, there's no way to conserve it.
No,
there's nothing you can do.
Take pictures. I love that now they're doing that. I gotta look at the 3D thing they got on Disney Plus. They got a they got a whole 3D scan of the ship now that they did picture by picture. So you get to kind of see it. And that's probably what they're gonna end up doing down the line. But like it makes me wonder, like, what has because we haven't. What have we not seen from the Titanic wreck? Which rooms have we not explored? Like, I always wonder. The Titanic went head first at the bow, straight into the dirt, and so half the bottom of it,
and it split up. Yeah.
Well, obviously, it split up when it came down before it went under. I'm talking about when it in the dirt. Like, is it crumbled by that point? Like, is it just basically like a pancake, or is it dug into the dirt? That's what I'm saying. That's I want to see that doc. I have not seen that way. I may turn it on tonight, but I want to see the 3D scan of the ship. But to me, there's things that we haven't seen. But again, it's like there's gonna be a time when that thing's not there anymore, and that people think about that. But that's my other thing. There's so many shipwrecks. The Andrea Doria, which they brought up in Netflix, Edmund Fitzgerald, the Britannic, which you actually could scuba down there, which is the Titanic's sister ship, which sunk. It didn't break, but it did freaking crumble like a pancake. It hit nosedive. But the Titanic is the most famous shipwreck in the world.
The depths of the ocean.
That's the thing.
Hold so much mystery and eerie, like you said.
Yeah.
That we don't even know. We don't even know.
Think about that. It's pitch black back down there. When they turn the lights off, they've done it.
It's insane, dude. It's like, insane.
And
that's the marine life. The deeper you are, you don't even need eyes.
No, you don't. But I will say too, it's like what's effed up about that situation. I can understand the torture for those families. The only I don't use the word blessing, but
they didn't feel anything.
They didn't. What's scary is that's
instantaneous combustion.
Well, the thing is, they're in hearing all those pops. You knew what was happening at that point. Like that's the shitty thing. Think about your family. It's like what they were going through at that moment, realizing, oh my God, we're not. This is it.
Yeah, But even in the instantaneous combustion, there's no possibility for you to even think or feel absolutely anything. Once it happens, like you don't have any recollection. Well, that's it. You don't.
No, it's done. You don't even realize what happened. That's it. You knew what was coming, but you didn't realize. You didn't. Which is crazy how that all works. Science works.
It's a vacuum.
It's just you don't even realize it. You may have, but you don't even process the situation.
That's insane.
But it's like, think about that. 1 minute that sub with all those lights is down, all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah.
That thing's gone. And they talked about that in the HBO doc. I don't think they brought it up in the Netflix one. I don't remember. They don't. But they talk about what they found, like in regards of
what was left
evidence of victims.
Yeah.
You know, which was basically Stockton's pens, his patches, his patch from his shirt, and you know that survived. But yeah, respectfully,
that's it. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, if we would have been more patient, Rush could have changed again. And I think that's what he wanted to do, but he just wanted to get it done. Like again, he had I don't know what his Alex brought up a great point for the show with the money, but like if he would, which is the best one to watch first? I watched the HBO one first. So that's where I'd watch HBO first, and then I would watch the Netflix doc. The sound must have been horrible for long minutes before it happened.
The problem is the sound picks up, but when there's a catastrophe like that, that is instant.
But but it's what's leading up to it, Alex. Same thing is like, when you have to have a certain talk with someone that you're like, I don't want to talk to them. You know, it's all that anxiety that's building up. Like it's always, it's like I tell my kids,
nervousness.
It's like, just get it over, whip the Band-Aid off. That's basically what happened. It's the dread, and that's what tortures the families, where they're like, now it's reported that they knew what was going to happen, and like that's what's horrible. That teenager who was on there, like he shouldn't have been on there,
which he didn't want to go. That was a famous.
No, it was supposed to be the mother, but excuse me, and then the way he would sneak around is like, oh no, these are mission specialists. No, they're not. What I would have told Rush in that meeting where he's like, well, you know what? If you want me to sign off at this thing, you want to do it. Don't put paying passengers. You and the board get on these subs and test it. You guys go. And then if it passes, then we're good. Don't be running these tests with these passengers on board.
No, and the thing is that whole concept, and it has to be that they were strapped for cash and they were trying to make a name for themselves or something, because I
think it had all to do with, like you brought up, ego. I think it only had to do, he would have had to say, okay, I have to step this back. He would have looked like an idiot to himself. He kept bringing up Elon Musk and Bezos, and I want to be like them. It's like, but here's the issue: whether you love him or hate him or whatever, you're not Elon Musk, brother. You're not. Dude.
And the problem is, it's carbon fiber, and you even see the way the ship looked, the way the submergible looked, that you can remove pieces of it. Like you're like, dude, this doesn't look like a legit. To me, the part that was hilarious is that you can control it with a PlayStation controller.
Yep.
When I heard that, I'm like, oh my god, dude! Like, I understand the technology, I get it, the advances of it, but
first off, again, I can't sit in that damn thing. That's just a fact. I can't sit in that long and whatever in that little freaking window. But if I would have saw if there's the 3 screws going into that thing, like, oh, why only 3 screws when there's like 30 holes in there? Well, because the pressure in the ocean keeps it. What?
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm good. Keep the $5,000.
That's science. That's I don't give a shit.
It didn't work. It popped. Pop goes the weasel.
That was science as well.
DSG said there will be a space tourism disaster too, just a matter of time.
It's true. It's going to happen. Will happen. It will happen. There's no way to guarantee. Look, even, and God forbid, the plane, the other Boeing that fell in India going to London, that there was only one survivor, which is an insane story. The way he was able to get out of that plane. Any modes of travel, any modes of transportation, there will be accidents, but in this case, is complete neglect, because there was nothing done in regards to it. And when you're dealing with space rockets, that's a whole different scenario. There's going to be a catastrophe with that, because the probabilities of failure are so much greater when you're handling things like this, when it's excessive pressure, kind of like a submergible. When you're dealing with a space rocket, that's completely different. So if for sure, what would be scarier going up? I think, you know what? For me, it'll be deep water. Maybe because I always wanted to be an astronaut, so space doesn't scare me. Even the thought of the infinite, where you're lost in it and you're just floating away forever. But to me, I think it will be the deep water, because there has to be a level of claustrophobia that kicks in. And when you look at the ocean, I know when you look at the sky, you feel like, but when you're in the middle of the ocean, like anybody has gone on a cruise and you're in the middle of the ocean, you feel so little. You feel like you're a grain of salt, because you're, especially at nighttime, and you're just looking at open water, and you're like, dude, I'm nothing here, man. Like the
I'll tell
depths of
you,
this will eat me up alive.
yeah, I will say first off, I love the ocean. I love the whales and orcas, and I know I'm saying like that. Like I would love to
That
see
would just be a
shipwreck.
funny the statement. I love whales.
I love whales.
So does Pat Riley. Pat Riley loves
Yeah.
whales.
Oh, there you go. But
Oh, where's our
I
laugh?
think
Hold
it
on,
would be
hold on.
scarier. It would be scary to go in deep water
Oh
because
yeah, yeah.
of that situation. Like for me, if there was ever an opportunity to, and I hate flying, I really do, and I hate it more now than ever. But I would, like, if you ask me which one, what would you do? Like, unless it's like, oh, like a couple hundred feet and we get to see like the bottom and
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
Then okay,
Yeah.
but let's go like
Yeah.
5,000 feet below. Let's look
Yeah,
at the
it's like,
Titanic.
no, I'm good,
Nah,
dude.
dude, I'll look at
I'm all
pictures.
right.
Like, don't
I'm
get me wrong, unless you could bring the Titanic up,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look at the Titanic. I'll look at
You know, now that you say that, I wonder if anybody's ever thought of that.
they have.
About somehow
Yeah.
bringing the whole
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
It
obviously
must be the cost must be
the problem
insane.
is
It's impossible.
well, it's just because the ship will break apart. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you know, they've talked about magnets. That shit. You think about
Yeah.
golf ball, like not golf,
You would
ping
have to
pong
put
balls.
something in the bottom to
The
just
thing
pick
would,
it up.
I think, would really, I would try maybe bring it up in pieces and just put it all back together when you get it up.
Yeah.
You know, maybe do something like that. But did you watch? No, I haven't.
No. Is that us on Discovery?
I will
Or
say,
no? Oh no, that's a movie. Oh, sorry. Okay, Woody Harrelson. I just saw it now.
there's a lot of places on Earth underwater that are unreachable. It's insane. It is true.
Think about that.
That's crazy, man. You know, it's crazy. But
We
yeah,
don't know the depths of our own ocean
no.
and what lives there because there's living organisms there. That's another thing.
Yeah, man. But anyway, go check it out. There's a great doc on there, on Netflix and HBO. But it's just ridiculous.
I'm gonna check the HBO one too.
Yeah,
just to see it.
It's just sick, man. It's sick. I you know me, Alex. I love stuff like that. You know, it's just, but it's like, God, man. It's a sad story. It sucks. And you know what's frustrating is that it's not like all these.
It could be preventable. That's the thing that frustrates me.
It's that cult-like mentality too. Like that's what I saw with this one, with the Netflix one, that people were actively, like the higher ups were like, dude, we can't do this. And there are people dropping off like flies. Like, you know, this guy, the same girl in that meeting, in that HR meeting that was recorded, she left right after that. She's like, she didn't even talk to Elon Musk. She just dipped, you know, because he was like, oh, you're going to be our first female pilot.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, bro?
Okay.
He works in accounting.
I'm not a pilot, dude. Yeah.
What are you talking about, bro? That's how
funny.
Anyway,
that's the level. No, and Tati said it. That's a sociopath. Like you have
he was
no touch of like, oh yeah, okay, we could do that. What are you doing, dude? I'm not even qualified to do this, man.
Yeah, while you're there, Alex, click play on Brock's Tale.
Got you on HBO. Got you.
You know, Jesus, like my gosh.
By the way, I love the fact I know you have your little scratcher. It looks like you're scratching yourself with a fork this whole time. It's just like when you're pointing it here and you're scratching your forehead. It looks like this must be like this. I like this, man. I like this look. It's like sophisticated finger scratcher.
Yeah.
All you need is a little cigar, a little scotch.
It's a back scratcher, ball scratcher.
Is that the extender?
It was, but it broke.
Oh, so now you just got the little hand.
I got the little hand.
Yeah,
so I can only reach so far, you know. But yeah, right there. Catch that little spot.
Oh, right there.
You know
don't go too low, Bob. Don't go too
low.
know. You might, and then you have to turn it though, because you can't just.
Oh my God, Alex, turn it. I'm not that kind of guy. You know, it's like, I'm not that kind of guy. But anyway. Oh man. But let me make sure. I don't want to exit the show, end the show.
Yes.
Without finding out if there's anything else to talk about.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, like you did mention, it is Father's Day, and I know for you, it's a little bittersweet because it's the first Father's Day without Ralph, in person. So I do want to mention it, and in regards, obviously, I have an older father as well, and it's days like these always make you reminisce, obviously, the moments that you've lived, the moments that you've lost, but also the experiences and the lifelong memories that you always have. So a big shout out to Rafi boy, a big shout out to all the fathers out there, present, gone, non-forgotten, but most importantly, any father figures to children, to the youth, and to even older siblings. There's that you can, no matter how old you are, there's always that moment sometimes you're like, damn, what will my dad do? And I still to this day, I'm a grown ass man. And there's moments that I think I'm like, damn, what would my dad do in this situation? Or what would my mom do? And I have them here with me still, thankfully. But
Amen.
it's part of who you are, because as a kid, as you're growing up, you always fighting to be independent. But when you get older, you always cherish the moments that you were able to talk to your parents and makes those decisions because your parents were able to kind of be a sounding board for your decisions. So every crucial part of my life, some way, somehow, I've always attributed to a conversation or a moment I've had with my parents, because they're the ones that help you achieve what you want to become, and they also help you overcome what life brings your way. And I think people overlook that at times. And life doesn't always go as planned. But
That's right.
a big shout out to all the fathers, especially you two, man. What you're doing here with the network, with your family, and obviously, I know you have a great support system. I have a great support system to be able to do what I do outside of this as well. So a big shout out to them too for letting us be dads.
Absolutely.
And Breezy, rest in peace, man.
Yeah. Yes. Prayers up, and rest in peace to your father. Happy Father's Day. I was blessed. I'm blessed to have, I would always say 3 parents, right? My mother, of course,
Yeah.
my father, who, even though my parents separated, my father was still involved and still, and God, thank God, still here. And then Ralph, my stepfather, who passed away, less than a year ago. We're almost there. He passed away in September, right? And that, I'll tell you, it's hard.
It's crazy.
It's hard.
Crazy
It's been a hard day, but I got an awesome family who's kept me smiling today, and it was harder last night too after the Panthers won, because thinking about him and his last tweet, I retweeted it, was the Panthers in June, was talking about Panthers winning the championship, and we gotta win that Lord Stanley Cup. So I just know that, and thinking about him. So happy Father's Day to Ralphie boy. Happy Heavenly Father's Day, and Heavenly Father's Day to all those fathers who have passed on. And as Alex says, dads that are currently still here, the dads that are watching right now, the fathers who are fathers by choice, and who are father figures, like Alex said, to them as well, So, and trust me, there is no. I said it on Twitter today, after Tati's tweet, which was very nice. There is no greater role or responsibility and joy,
correct,
to me than being dad. So there you go, Tati. Thank you for emphasizing which day he passed away. Appreciate that. Just go ahead and
it's
right in the hole there. Add some salt too while you're at it. No, it's okay. I appreciate it.
And being a dad is a job you do for free. It's a job that there's no money in the world that can, the feeling. And it's funny because as you get older, and you seeing this too, Bob, because you're living it at the same time as I am, relationship with your children will change.
Yeah.
You still see them as your kids, but sometimes you start seeing them more as people, and you're like, wow, that's my son or that's my daughter.
Yeah.
And then you're still your kids, but you no longer see them as a little baby. You no longer see them as a little 10-year-old. You all of a sudden, you're like, wow, like that's my son, that's my daughter. 18, 11, you're like, shit, man, like where has the time gone? Like,
there's no lie, dude. I remember when people used to say that, time flies when you have kids.
Flies, bro.
Oh, dude, come on, dude. No, it's legit.
It's legit, bro.
The other day I saw something, Facebook does that. Oh, you've been friends with this person for 18 years. I'm like, wait, that was 18 years ago?
Man.
I knew that person 18 years ago. There's times where I still go like, man, that was like 10 years ago. No, it's not.
Dude, it hit me when
my daughters are going to be 13.
Yeah, when we were in Aegis graduation, and I'm reading the commencement ceremony. She's the one that spoke after the principal, and I'm seeing the year, and it hits me. I'm like, holy shit, I graduated high school 20 years ago. I'm like, where did these 20 years go by, man? It's like, it's a blink and boom, they're gone. So my message to everyone out there that is a father or not, enjoy the moments as well. And trust me, you're going to have bad days. There's days that you're going to frustrate and you're going to want to kill your kids figuratively, not literally, but that's part of it. I think the good and the bad comes with being a dad. Like, there's days that you want to tear them apart, and then you realize, like, it's because they're your kids. That's the reason you want to tear them apart. And it's funny, but it's a rewarding feeling every day.
Yeah, I know.
That is crazy. We are officially closer to 2050. God damn it, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Wow.
Anyway, guys, first off, appreciate everyone who's watching right now, we are, if you round up, we're almost about 800 people, Alex, which is
Nice.
crazy. We're at the 70, 78
What-
right
what-
now.
We should hold on to see if we could reach.
See if we get to
8. Can we do it?
We could.
People
listen,
call your family members.
Yeah,
call
let's
your
just
friends,
see if we
knock
just
on your
get to
neighbor's
the,
door.
we'll just keep going.
Let's see.
we?
Damn, bro,
Let's do that. Let me
Go
ask
ahead,
you
go
this.
ahead, go
I
ahead.
sent you yesterday. I've been sending you a bunch of random ass videos.
Yeah.
The AI Bigfoot.
Yeah.
AI Bigfoot. I've seen a few of them. First off, I saw an AI thing of the Bigfoot with the his name is Steve, and he goes, "Oh my God, it's bigger than mine." That was ridiculous. And there was another one where they interview people from back in the day, the time. And I will say somebody asked earlier, will we be doing an emergency stream? Yes, if breaking news happens and we could do it, we will. If I could do it, I will.
With KD? Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
we'll do it. We'll go live.
It could be 4 a.m, bro, and I'll be.
Hello? Alex will text me,
Hello?
call me. Alex, get up. We gotta go.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Hey, I'm sorry, it's emergency, bro.
Go outside,
bro.
bro.
We gotta go. Honey, wait a second. I'll be back, honey. Just
Crazy.
don't go
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Hop on over to YouTube. Hit that subscription button as well, man.
779. We got 3.
We're almost there. We're gonna stay. But I saw. There was
780.
There you go. just keep going. But I was gonna say there was one that I saw. Go knock on your neighbor's door. Just tune in very fast.
781.
Listen, the other one I saw was that I thought it was hilarious. Was there was one that was like it was one on like the ape, the freaking Bigfoot ones are hilarious. The one from the time machine, there was one like after there was one like for when Jesus rose from the dead, they did one on that. How do you feel that how do you feel that after he rose from the dead? I made a mistake, dude. I was talking trash to him while he was up there. Like, why don't you come on down? I hope he didn't hear me. I was like, there's like bad deal. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. But at the same time, it's crazy,
bro.
That's what's crazy about it. It's hilarious, right?
Yes.
The whole how they do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's crazy how AI is the way they're able to do that.
It is insane. And remember, Albert Einstein said this: when artificial intelligence takes over, that is going to be a scary situation. That is a downfall of humanity. Artificial. You know what the problem is, Bobby? Not only with the climate in our country and around the world, the truth now has become second to everything. Now with AI, you don't know what's real or not.
Dude, I don't know how many times I've seen people repost pictures and stuff and go, "Oh, see, this person did this. They did this type of trade." It's like focus. It's AI.
Yes, iRobot. Remember Will Smith?
Yeah.
Bro, when I saw that movie, I remember talking to my friends at the time, and I'm like, dude, if someone can imagine this right now, this could be done, or it's already being done secretly. Part of a government entity.
First of all, that was before Alex was married. He didn't really hate on it first. He was like, he did. He was like, dude, that's kind of scary. But at the same time, he's like, do you think they're gonna do a sex bot? And that's what he was. He tried to put a down payment. Dude's a freak. And I'll just letting you all know that right now, dude.
Man, I would design my own sex bot. Let me fix that right there. Let me fix that right there. A little bit more. No, a little bit more.
We're running late. Now we're late. We're getting crazy here. But anyway, we did get to 780. So
that's okay.
For all those tuning in, we appreciate you guys. And all those who come in after, thank you so much. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, do that. If you're watching on social media, hop on over, hit that subscription button. But if you're watching social media and you can't get over, at least hit that follow button. Follow us.
What will Bobby taste next?
Okay, first of all, we just talked about a sex spot, and you're gonna say taste next. What the hell, dude? Like,
hold on.
Because I've been trying random foods.
Hold on.
Okay, Alex, keep saying it. Totally flopped. But 782. 782.
Well, I'm telling you, bro, it's a laugh. It's a laugh.
It's a laugh. They got two. But
7. Now you see this is what
now that we're gonna end it.
Now it's gonna reel me back in. 784.
Yeah, there it is. We're almost there. Keep going.
Try something. Find something in your house. Try something, dude. Whatever you have, bro.
Take your shirt off. Let's get some. Let's see if we get some. Do it for the views.
Only fans, legit. Only for our fans.
There are people jumping in right now going, what the hell did I just tune into?
Yeah.
Wait, that pick of Bobby with his shirt tucked in. No, sir. No, it wasn't.
No. The extra bulge.
Oh man. Guys, thank you all so much. We appreciate you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back, should be back next Thursday for another edition of East 10 Shoot Boys. We appreciate you all, and good night, Miami.
Peace.
Yo, gringos in the house. Straight out of Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, where we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the E. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two worlds meet.